Maybe, baby, Puffy, Jay-Z. Whose lyrics are those? Who who has those lyrics? Oh, this goddamn hat. It's messing with me. Uh, all right. That's how it's gonna be. All right. So it appears, and happy Cinco de Mayo to everybody, all the Mexicans and all the non-Mexicans that just want to get drunk. We'll talk about that later. I'll tease that a little bit. I'll talk about that in a later part of the show. I just wanted to get. I'm back on my MacBook. My MacBook is working for now. I don't know how long. I'm still raising, $20 questions, and whatever you can do to support me, because for a good cause. My bank account, it's a really great cause. So just be aware of that. But we'll talk about the Battle of Puebla and Napoleon's lost battle against the Mexicans and the French, how they fell. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But now we have to talk about L.A. Reid, the latest black man, strong, millions of dollars, probably close to billions, caught up in the bullshit. Caught up in the bullshit. Well, I'm not saying she's bullshitting. This is alleged. This is all her, her case. I'm not saying she's. It's just I'm just saying like caught up in the whirlwind of Russell Simmons, P Diddy, and all the others. Harvey Weinstein. He had his case dismissed. Actually, he had it overturned. Actually, but L.A. Reid. He's been accused of digitally penetrating a female and groping her and kissing her over 2 decades ago. So this is like part of that New York um, uh, law that says you can have a year or something like that to respond to something, and even if it happened months or years ago, it's crazy. But L.A. Reid, one of the prime executives over the past almost maybe 3 or 4 decades. He has had a major been a major influence on dozens of acts. Just maybe even hundreds of acts, different R&B and hip hop stars, and especially he even has some rock and roll stars. I guess remember Pink. She's mostly like pop slash rock slash her own thing. I don't know. She's always in the air and those aerial acrobatics and stuff. But she said, LA told me you'll be a rock star. All you gotta change is everything you are, or pop star. I don't know what it was, but it's goofy. It's real goofy now. I don't like the fact that just men are being targeted, but I guess that's what the alleged case is. Whatever the alleged case is, that's the key. That's what must have happened. The women aren't the ones that are aggressors in these cases. It seems they aren't being picked out of the crowd. I'm sure there are women who have done some terrible things to both men and women, but they don't get the coverage. They don't get the press. It's the Me Too generation is all about Me Too. He touched me. He groped me. He knocked me out with a sedative. All that. He and me, not she and me. It's he. He did all this. So, and again, like another one, Bill Cosby. I think he's free right now, but they're trying to get another case against him to put him back in jail. But it's just messy, and we got John Legend. Hey, honey, I'm in the haterverse, so I can do that until he trademarks it, Mr. Troy Star Terrain. Until he trademarks it, I'm gonna go on with it because it's funny as hell. Hey, honey, a toot toot. Hey, a beep beep. If anybody remembers the Philly days, you don't have to. It's way back in the past. So it's a really sketchy, weird, goofy, nasty, ugly kind of situation. It's just a mess. It's just a big mess, Everybody knows that, you're going to be targeted now. Like everybody wants to come up. That's the facts. Everybody wants a payday. Everybody wants a check. Her career didn't pop off. What's her name? Dixon? Or something Dixon. Hold on. Drew Dixon. She served John Legend with a notice for a deposition in her sexual assault lawsuit against L.A. Reid. So John Legend really didn't have anything to do with any of this. Allegedly, like he may have known something, or he might not know anything. Who knows? But that's what the case is right now. That's what the whole situation is now. That's what they're going off of. They're trying to wring all this out. I'm just trying to fix my goddamn tie. Ugh. Hell. I guess it's gonna be like that. All right. And then, goddamn. All right. So, all right. That's enough. This is my OCD really messing with me right now. I don't have technical OCD. I just have, the play on words. But it's goofy. It's real goofy. These lawsuits are just keep mounting, and the fall of Diddy, the whole mess with him. Are Homeland Security agents? Are they gonna officers or whatever their name is? Are they gonna show up at L.A. Reid's house? Are they gonna search through him? Are they gonna detain? His offspring that may be living in the house. I don't know, but I do know that if it befits somebody of his caliber to run to Bali with Diddy and Russell Simmons. Diddy didn't go to Bali. He hasn't gone there yet. He was in Miami the whole time the houses were raided, at a bar, I think, something like that. But then he's just run to Bali. Get out of America. Go out of the United States. Don't worry about any extradition. Just live a wonderful life in Bali. You'll be amazed. The conversion rate of the U.S. dollar to the hold on. Let me look it up. What is the Bali currency? Indonesian rupiah. That's and the conversion rate is 0.000063. So that's one Indonesian rupiah versus the United States dollar. That's pretty traumatic. But yeah, so Russ, L.A. Reid, run, girl, run, honey, run, or pay up. He might have to do what Diddy. Pause. No Diddy. He might have to do what Diddy did. Drop the girl, 20 million, break her off 30 million. Just keep it pushing, keep her, quiet. She won't say another word like Cassie. She didn't say anything else. I think she was involved in a few other, incidents, post her getting paid, but it wasn't too significant. So it's the same thing goes with L.A. Reid. It's the idea of having him being a person who is of influence, of a certain caliber, of a certain stature, and now his record's tarnished forever. You can't undo what somebody else thinks you did. Even if you didn't do it, it will always be. Just like the late great O.J. Simpson. He was cleared on all charges. A double homicide. He was cleared on both. Cleared. Not guilty. Innocent. Of his wife and her friend. And he was cleared of that. But what do we always remember him by? We remember him by his stats on the field. Remember him by the TV shows that he was a part of. We remember him by his movies. Remember him by beating a double homicide and the whole dramatic Shakespearean Othello trial and the whole scene and spectacle, all that played into it, and it was a factor. But now you have L.A. Reid. L.A. Reid, a boss, a gatekeeper, somebody that says yes and no, and see if somebody lives or dies, essentially in their career. He has the power. He wields that power. He has that might. He has that might. So, okay, I got one person in here. Applaud me. I have one person, one like. Whoever you are, go in the top chat so I can speak to you, so we can communicate. I'm back with my MacBook. $20 questions only. If you ask a question once, I'll continue to answer your questions. Just one time has to be $20 though. The first question has to be $20. Let me put that in the goddamn chat right now. Put that in the live chat. Matter of fact, let me put that to the top. Pin message. So, L.A. Reid, man, it's a shame. It's really sad. I mean, it's like had to be him. Your idols turn into your. You don't know what. There's no word for it. What is the word for it? For Diddy and Russell Simmons and L.A. Reid, and I'm missing people. I know there's more. But I can't think of it right now. But yeah, like if you want to go in depth, you can say Bambaataa, African Bambaataa. You can talk about him, his whole case. So it's just all feeling. It's not thinking. I've been guilty of feeling instead of thinking, using the head of my shorts rather than the head on my shoulders. I've been guilty of that, but nothing criminal. I haven't committed any crimes regarding that, but I have to say, for L.A. Reid, he just has such a regal kind of approach to things, and just like a very distinguished and dignified manner. So it seems. I mean, he could be a piece of shit behind the scenes, off camera. But other than that, he's a great. He looks like he could be a great guy. But I'm not the one suing him for penetrating me. Pause. No Diddy. And groping me. Pause. No Diddy. But this woman apparently is. She has brought it to our attention, and we have to really discuss just what is, so viable, so crucial, so significant to this matter. Did he do it? What evidence? See, he even had a statement. He did have a statement, which I always question. Like, if you didn't do it, just say, "Look, I didn't do it. I had nothing to do with it." Sometimes I do understand it, though. Lawyers say, "Don't say anything. Let me say it. I'll talk for you. You keep your mouth shut. And we'll win this. We'll win this together. If you just shut up, don't say a word." But because I'm always thinking like Tupac. Tupac was the one coming out of the courtroom, or have the jail cell or something like that, and he's talking straight to the media. Everybody's around him, got their recorders and their tape and their microphones and the cameras on his face, and he's just like, I'm a black man, and he just goes on talking about his plight, and I was like, okay, he's saying what happened and what didn't happen. I can agree with that, because that's what I would do. I'd be like, look, I didn't do this shit. I'm just letting y'all know right now. I had nothing to do with her, and she's a liar, a coward, and a nigger. She doesn't deserve to be in the same space as me anymore. I don't have nothing to do with her. That's what I would say. If I was caught up in some mess like Diddy and Russell Simmons could have been, and what L.A. Reid is facing right now. So, I mean, and look at Epstein and Weinstein, or is it Weinstein? I'm getting my Eins and Eans and everything all mixed up. But that is the gist of all this. The power of media, the power of the internet, the power of how fast everything is moving and popping and shaking real quick. Everything's going like that at the same time. And then you have people like, I like macaroni and cheese, collard greens, turkey, and peach cobbler. That, my friends, is of course John Legend. Hey, John Legend. Hey, honey. So, salute to Mr. Troystar Terrain. I'm using his taglines. I'm using his mannerisms. But his real name is John Legend's real name is John Stevens. And he got served. He got served with not a subpoena, I don't think is the proper wording, but a notice for deposition. So deposition is just essentially going to be about probably anywhere from 3 to 8 hours. Sometimes there might be a camera on deck. There probably will be a camera filming it. It's just the closest I can remember about a deposition that I've actually seen, and it was based on real life events, but it was fictionalized or filmed by way of a narrative, not a documentary. Was The Social Network, and there were 2 depositions. There was the one against the Winklevi, and there was the one against Eduardo Saverin. So, Mark Zuckerberg was just, kind of like, I'm tired of all this. I'm not really into this. He was just like, whatever. I give them their money. I give them $55 million. I'm worth $150 billion, or so, somewhere around there. And it's like, you're not even gonna come close to me. And like I said before, Eduardo Saverin was probably the smartest one. He claims that he didn't get out of the country, United States, for tax purposes. He claims that he went to Singapore, for better, business opportunities, which is true in certain circumstances, in certain essence. Singapore is a better business climate than the United States because the United States has so many regulations and controls. So that's like, I can understand what he's saying, but I think he was, kind of bullshitting in a way, or just trying to appease people. Instead of saying, no, I don't feel like paying no goddamn taxes. Are you kidding me? I ain't trying to pay no goddamn taxes. What do I look like? Shit. If you got the opportunity not to pay taxes, then don't pay taxes. But if you got to pay taxes, pay your taxes. Go ahead, do what you got to do to avoid fines and possible prison time, like what Wesley Snipes. Nobody wants to go down that road because it's not very selfish of you. It's not very rational of you to go to prison, and you can just pay your taxes. And I know it sucks. I understand your sentiment. I understand what you're saying. I get it. I understand. But just pay your taxes and stay away from the law, man. All right, so I just had to say that as an aside. But back to L.A. Reid. L.A. Reid, just Drew Dixon, whoever she was, she must have been an upcoming singer. She wanted to do something. She's probably in her late teens, early 20s at the time. She's probably in her 40s now. She definitely has a different way of doing things, in the sense that she's going, directly at him and at LA Reid and not thinking about any other the consequences, not thinking about anything, no blow back, no problems beyond out of her reach or anything like that. And LA Reid's a wealthy man. I want to see what their bullshit net worth of him is. I want to say 150 million before I look it up. 300 million. This is according to Celebrity Net Worth. The richest, 300 million. Let's see. Mark Realist, 300 million. Richness, 300 million. So he's worth he's good for some M's. He's good for some M's. So once again, like he'll break her off. He'll break her off with 20 million, 30 million, something like that. And keep it pushing. And won't even have to worry about it. Until something, crazy comes up and kind of derails the whole thing again, with more allegations. That's the worst part. You have multiple allegations because one comes up like, oh, he had me too. Me too, me too, me too. He was with me and he touched me and me too, me too. That's what it's about. But like I said, hey, if he's guilty, then throw his ass in jail and fine him and do whatever else you got to do. Punish him to the fullest extent of the law. But what I'm saying is he's innocent until proven guilty. So right now he's very much not guilty. He's very much on the side of right now, as I speak. It could change. It might be different one on another day. But for right now, he's all right. He's good. He's Gucci. So LA Reid definitely has the capacity to make this go away. It's gonna cost him. Like I said, 20, 30 million. Just like Cassie. Cassie did Diddy. That was when the levee broke. The levee broke with Cass. Okay, Cassie was like the hurricane, and the hurricane forces, caused the water to rise, and it just broke the levee, and everything just went to hell. Everything went to shit. So that's what happened there. That's the disturbing part of that. So now I got 2 people in here, 2 likes. Who are the 2 people? Come to the top chat. Let me have a conversation with you. Remember, $20. Every question you submit, or the first question you submit, is $20. Everything after that is free. 3 likes. I'm not mad. Give me one more like. Let me have 4 likes and 2 people watching. So that's the sadness about all this. You can't have fun. You can't have fun with a female. You can't have fun because she might sue you. You can't, play with her and kiss her neck or something like that. And I'm saying in a relationship, they may have not had a relationship. If they didn't have a relationship that was romantic, maybe they shouldn't have been together or something like that. Maybe I can get that. I can understand that. But if they may have had some kind of understanding. The reason why he was, groping her and touching her is because he understood that they were in some kind of romantic relationship. I don't know. I'm not sure. It didn't show that in the article. It didn't explain that any further, but that's what I'm saying. That's the only thing I can surmise at the moment. That's the only thing I can understand. Is the fact that you have somebody that has so much power, so much money. He's got money, power, and fame. He's got factor. He's an it factor. He's got relevance. If that means anything, sometimes relevance doesn't mean anything. Ironically, because that's what relevance means. But sometimes doesn't mean anything. But he is a factor. He's definitely a factor in the game for, like I said, 3 or 4 decades, back to the 80s, back to the 90s. He goes back. Everybody, Usher and Outkast and like I said, Pink and so many others, have walked through his doors and been signed by him or had, some kind of relationship with him, professional or otherwise. So I just say he better run. Just run. If you if you know what's good for you, you better run. Russell Simmons got his leg behind his head. He's got the what is it? The incense. He's going around in his room barefoot with just his drawers on. He's listening to some chant music or something like that, some Gregorian chants or something. I don't know. I'm just bullshitting, but he's living a life. He's not behind bars listening to niggas argue and fight and smelling another nigga's piss and shit in a commode. He's not waiting on someone to fix the rat and the roach problem. I mean, this is just one side of prison. The other side of prison is you walk dogs, you walk horses, and you do yoga. You're on the internet. You have air conditioning in the summer and heating in the winter, and you have conjugal visits. I mean, it's a toss up. It's just like anything. It's just like the military. Military could be your greatest placement. Not free because somebody's paying for it, but food you didn't have to pay for is on your plate. Food technically you didn't have to pay for. It's probably coming out of your check. I'm pretty sure it's coming out of our check. When I was in the Marines, it was probably you can see in the back. I'm sure it was coming out of my check. But all right, selfism, taking the natural path. Star Report sent me. I'm so thank you, selfism, for telling me that. I appreciate that. Thank you for coming here. Get ready, strap in. I'm about to talk about Cinco de Mayo, and why nobody gives a goddamn about it, but just want to get super drunk and spin around and look stupid. But thank you, selfism. Let me say that. And I'm saying salute. Be sure to subscribe, share, and donate. All right. So I appreciate you. Thank you for coming through. Selfism. Tell everybody. Tell 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, but don't tell 7 people. Let the 7th person tell me who is this goofy nigga with the black hat and the gold tie and the black shirt and the USMIC and the Marines behind him, the USMC. What's up with that goofy nigga? What's going on with him? So just let everybody know. Make sure you subscribe, and also donate. Don't forget to donate. I'm taking $20 questions. You have a question, $20. But anything else, $5 and up. Anything below $5, I'm sending it back to you. That's just how I roll. All right, we got 3 people in here. We got it moving a little bit. It's a little bit slower than on the phone. My mobile is usually like 8 or 9 people at one time, but it's a little crazier with my MacBook. For some reason, the algorithm doesn't like the MacBook. I don't know. But L.A. Reid, I'm gonna just wrap it up with him. L.A. Reid, he got caught up in the bullshit. Caught up in, I'm just gonna say, the allegations. Not really, I'm gonna say he's at fault or if he's guilty, because he's guilty and he's not guilty until proven innocent. So he's not guilty right now. He's totally innocent. But like I said, he's probably gonna have to chip this Drew Dixon female broad off. At least 20 million, 30 million, something like that. He's got 300 million apparently. allegedly through all the bullshit sites that track people's net worth. They most of them just all say 300 million, 300 million, 300 million. So I was guessing, somewhere around there, half a billion, somewhere around there, which is insane. Like, it's a lot of money, but we're like, he's not even a billionaire. And then when you get a billionaire, you're just a baby billionaire. Oh, you got 10 billion. You got 50 billion. 100 billion. All right, that's 150 billion. That's better. And like 200 billion. Okay, now you're serious. Like, okay, that's the way it goes. All right. I want to talk about Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo is a holiday that is celebrated in Mexico primarily, but has been shown to be of chief importance in the United States of America, mostly for college kids and grown-ups as well, older people in their 20s and 30s and 40s, probably older, 50s, 60s, 70s. They just want to get drunk and get stupid and listen to Mexican music, stuff like that. Wear a sombrero, spin around, do shots, take Mexican tequila, drink Mexican beer. You want to have your Corona and Modelo and Tecate on deck. Let me see. Mexican. You want to have your Blanco and your Gringo and your Don Julio, Jimador, Jose Cuervo, Maestro Dobo, Ocho, Herradura, Casa Novo, Clase Azul. You want to have all of that on deck. But what does it really mean? What is the true foundation? I'm gonna don't bore out on me. Don't snooze. Oh, okay. I'm gonna try to keep it as lively as possible. Well, this was one of the major key events that happened in Mexico. The Mexican forces fended off an attack by Napoleon's French army, and they won. They beat the French. They beat him in a battle, and they didn't have to worry about it anymore. So it had nothing to do with the independence. A lot of people say, "Oh, it was their Independence Day. That's the reason why they call it Cinco de Mayo." No, just because we call it 4th of July and this is the 5th of May, don't confuse it with the Independence Day. It's because the Mexican army defeated the French army and sent them back at the Battle of La Puebla. This happened in 1857. So that's just a little history lesson. But you know what? Nobody gives a shit. Anybody that's observing it in America is just another excuse to get drunk. We use our holidays to get drunk. What do you do on New Year's? Oh, I'm getting drunk, and I'm saying my resolutions to not get drunk anymore. Bullshit. You can watch Groundhog Day, and you can probably have a drinking game to the movie. See how many times he kills himself. Paul, spoiler alert. I mean, fast forward. St. Patrick's Day. Duh. I mean, who else gets more drunk than Irish people? And I can say that because I have Irish in my blood. Maybe through slavery, but I don't think so. But yeah, it's just a joke. Come on now, it's funny. I go at everybody. I go at niggers, chinks, kikes, everybody gets it. Spics, everybody gets something. Dot heads, I go at everybody. So Cinco de Mayo is just another example. Let me see. So, like I was saying, St. Patrick's Day. There's whiskey and rye and beer and all kinds of things you can get drunk off of. And just say, "Oh, well, it's for St. Patty's Day. I'm okay. I'll just drink my green beer and I'll be all right." And let me see. April. April has what? It's Poetry History Month, so that's a lot of poets that were alcoholics. Let me see. Coming up to now, and then we go into the future. Memorial Day, we'll have a cookout. Well, it's really about the men and women who served and died in uniform and didn't sacrifice their lives, but their lives were taken from them. That's the reason why we have Memorial Day. But in reality, it's all about celebrating them or honoring them. Not really, it's honoring them. Thank you, Selfism. I appreciate. I just noticed you said something. Thank you. Respect to you, sir or ma'am. I'm not sure if you're a sir or ma'am, but thank you. But let me get into these promotions. My main man Peng, he has a product that is so immaculate. It was so good. I'm gonna finish it up next week, maybe the week after that. I have a like 5% left of it, and he gave it to me like 3 weeks ago. So I want you to make sure you go to lifestrongapparel.com. 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 Make sure you tell them that the goofy guy, Skylar Saunders, sent you. And let him know that. Let him know where it came from. Also, subscribe to at BEEJACKSON5478 on YouTube.com. That's a lot, but he just mainly goes by B Jackson, but he has to put in that for his handle. But he's cooking up sardines on the grill. He's got chicken he's frying. He's drinking near beer and rating him. He's just a really engaging and really interesting guy. So I definitely appreciate him. And check him out. Tell him that Skylar Saunders sent you. Subscribe to his channel, B Jackson 5478 on YouTube. Also, if you like Kim, Sade, The Gap Band, Rose Royce, Peebo Bryson, Whitney Houston, and any other like artists, make sure you check out SPRITSMOOTHTUNES, Spirit Smooth Tunes on YouTube.com. And tell them that Goofy Skylar Saunders sent you. Also, check out twitch.tv/.focus. That's DOTFOCUS _ just one underscore. That's it. That's all you have to think about. Just keep it on that one side. And tell him, Goofy Skylar Saunders sent you. He has great aim. And when he does his games, he's a super sniper rifle shooter. He has great accuracy and precision. So definitely check out his gaming skills. And if you want to advertise and sponsor for this show, go to SkylarSaunders@gmail.com. And also, if you want to join Skylar's 100 Club by contributing $100 or more in a month to the broadcast, you can do that as well. I would appreciate it. And the ways you do that is by paypal.me/Skylar Saunders. That's my PayPal. My Venmo is at SKYLERIZED. My Cash App is SKYLERSAUNDERS1. I'm going to say that again. $ SKYLERSAUNDERS1. Oh my God, this is crazy. Oh, this is wild. Rick James is a wild man. Hold on. I have to skip all the way down here. All right, so I have $0 raised. I have $160 to go. That's my goal. Contribute to the show and give your support by subscribing to the channel. Thanks, SS. You know who that is. All right, Rick James says, let me get this right. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to present the man who doesn't walk to the looking glass, but turned into sea. Brought to you back live in the Blue Room by popular demand. I present the man with the hay, Skylar Saunders, C's, Moss, Yummy Gummies, Kick Up the KFC, R. Kelly, P. Diddy, Sexy Time Music, Dot Focus, Got the Games, Selfism says Spirit, my guy from same city. I rock with him. He's a great guy. He has given me super donations. I definitely appreciate it. And besides that, he has a great channel. You know, his Spirit Smooth Tunes is an excellent channel to have. So I definitely salute him. That's really cool, Selfism. That's really cool that you actually know him. He's from your city. That's what's up. Yeah, he had some good music. All right. So got like 19 minutes left. All I'm going to talk about is how, you know, what am I on? I had to go to the advertisements, but I was back on. I was talking about the holidays. The next holiday, 4th of July. Let's have a cookout. What do we got? We got beer. Yeah, let's get some beers. Let's get some tequila. Let's get some whiskey. Let's get some gin. Let's get some, you know, shots going. Let's get, you know, 4th of July. But that's the middle. It's the start of the unofficial start of the summer season is Memorial Day. The middle of the summer season, technically or not technically, really, but unofficially is 4th of July, and the end of the summer season is Labor Day. And what do we do on Labor Day? Hey, let's have a cookout. Let's have some beers. Let's have some tequila. Let's have some whiskey. Let's have some rye. Let's have, you know. And then what is it? What's the next holidays? Halloween. Let's have a party. Let's dress up. Let's get costumes. But yep, we bought the wine. We brought the whiskey. We brought the beer. Let's have our crazy costumes and get loaded. Let's get real, you know, feeling good, feeling real toasty. What's the next holiday? Thanksgiving. Oh, well, we got the food. At least we have food to cover up, you know, so we're not throwing up. We'll have the turkey, you know, turkey day, and the trimmings and everything that goes with it. The cranberry sauce, the macaroni and cheese, the stuffing, all that. But we have to have wine. We have to have beer. We have to have different, you know, lagers, and we have to have different spirits and stuff like that. All that goes into it. What's the next? Christmas. Oh, we gotta have eggnog, but we gotta have an eggnog. We gotta put rum in the eggnog. We gotta put rum in the eggnog. We gotta have rum in the eggnog. Can't have with just the eggnog. We gotta have rum in it. Gotta have that. Mother's Day. You know what? I skipped some. See, that's why I like Rick James. He gets into my head. Mother's Day. What did she do? She goes out for brunch. What does she have? A mimosa, a Bloody Mary. What's that? Father's Day. What does he like? He likes drinking beer. He has a beer or two, or 3 or 4. We wants the wine, Rick James is saying. Yeah, that's what it's like. That's what it's like in America. And I'm sure it is in other places too. But I mean, for a time, we didn't have that. There was prohibition. You had to go to speakeasies. You had to and have special knocks and have keywords and special passwords and shit like that. You had to say, you had to know what you're talking about. Any reason to drink. That's what I'm saying. And I'm not against drinking. I don't drink, but I happen to like Heineken's beer. Heineken's non-alcoholic beer is great. I've had non-alcoholic beers that taste like water. This tastes like real beer, like actual alcoholic beer, but it doesn't have the alcohol in it. It has 0% alcohol. You know, there's no alcohol whatsoever. So there's no questioning, you know, whether you can have some. I mean, I wouldn't give it to my child. I want to give it to a small child, but I would give it to, you know, a healthy an adult. Rick James says he stopped drinking in the 70s for his health. Selfism says missing. Missing what, sir? What are you missing? Oh, you're not missing nothing but an addiction. Yes, exactly. I see what you're saying now, sir. I see what you're saying. I didn't see previous post. I know what you're saying, selfism. Yeah, exactly. You ain't nothing. I'm not missing anything but an addiction, and I hate that sad story. I saw it too many times. The sad story. They're in AA. Hi, I'm Jack Black. Jack Skipper, or and I'm an alcoholic. Hi, Jack Skipper. And they had to go through their whole everything. I stole out my mama's purse. I went through her jewelry. I sold the TV for booze. Like, nobody wants to have that sad story. Nobody wants to hear that. I mean, I really feel for them. I really do. Because I was around them a lot, and they were good people. But I didn't care for their sad stories because they're just too depressing. But alcohol is great. Alcohol is wonderful. If you know how to do it right. There was one point where I did alcohol right, and I just felt like I was floating. You just feel like you just lovely little women angels are kissing your body. Like, it's a good feeling. It really is a really good buzz. When you have that good buzz going, that's when you know. But I've also had really bad incidents with alcohol. I blacked out before twice. When I was once when I was in the Marine Corps, once when I was out. It was a mess. I was a mess. I couldn't handle my liquor. I can't handle no liquor, but these bitches can handle me. So, it just came to a point where I had to figure out a way to be my own person, my own self without alcohol. And I tried it. I actually tried it with my drugs. They said, don't, there's no more alcohol. I was like, whatever, that's bullshit. And I actually tried it, and it was horrible. I had a terrible headache. Now, people joke and say, that's when you got to drink more. I was like, yeah, that was cute. But I already drank 2 beers. I drank 2 whole beers, and it just gave me a headache. If I was going to drink 3, it would have been a problem. Because if you didn't know this, alcohol is a toxin. It is a toxin. It is almost literally poison. I mean, some people say, oh, you don't put that poison in your body. Like, 5%ers and what are they called? Fruits of Islam, FOI, and the black nationalists and stuff like that. They're always saying, like, don't use alcohol. Some people that are teetotalers in Christianity, they say they don't use alcohol, but it's for the wrong reasons. It mainly is a physiological issue. Your body fights alcohol. It takes time. Your liver's like, God damn, what are you doing? Zach Galifianakis had a great joke. He said, this is how much I drink. My liver is calling his congressman. I thought that was funny. He's gonna call his congressman. That's how much I drink. But yeah, so that is the gist of it. That's the main idea behind all of it. The fact that people are so enamored. Woo, yeah, you hear that in any concert, any comedian or any artist, recording artist, any musician says, I'm just gonna take a shot of whiskey. I'm gonna do another. I'm gonna do the shot of tequila, and the crowd goes woo woo woo. Any chef on the TV shows that have the Master Chef and the Chopped and stuff like that, I'm gonna use a little wine. Woo, yeah, wine. Woo, 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 yeah. Cause it's like we've been almost brainwashed to think that alcohol is like the end all. It's like it has to be the only thing in life that permits us to have something good. Like I said, that feeling, that buzz feeling, that real warm, toasty, cozy feeling when you drink, that's real, but it's not going to be permanent. That's not like the current. That's not your state of balance. That's not the sense of balance that you should have. That's not what you should have as someone who is has a mind, who has thoughts, who can think their way through things. Alcohol should just be a a few times. It should be it should be permitted once or twice. I had some at my sister's wedding one time, no problem, because I didn't drink to get drunk, but I like the taste of it. I like the taste of champagne. Of course, champagne is great, so. But you don't always want it. Like there was a one story on MTV. I think it was the Diary of Jay-Z. This is like 20 years ago. This is 20 or 21 years ago. When he like people were coming up to him, when he was at a restaurant, and like, do you want some? Yeah, at that time he was drinking Cristal. He was like, Cristal. He didn't even want it at that time, but he wanted it for a different reason. They were racist, really. They didn't care about the main people that were buying their product. They just were figuring on they'll just write them off. Basically the African American crowd. So he switched over to Ace of Spade. But back in the day, he said, "Can I get some green tea? Can I get some tea?" Like he wasn't worried about getting any champagne at the time. So that's what I think you have to be. You have to have that balance. If for those who drink alcohol, there has to be a balance. There has to be a way of saying, you know what, I'm good. I know my limits. And plus, give up them goddamn keys. Give up the keys. I don't care who you are. It may sound cool, may sound funny. Yeah. I drove all the way home from Pennsylvania to Delaware, and I was loaded. But no, the cop didn't stop me. The car smelled like straight up gin and and whiskey. And I swerved a little bit, but I didn't hit anybody or nothing like that. And I made it home. I was like, woo, I'm probably do that again. Like, that's just stupid and irrational and irresponsible. They say that drink responsibly, have fun and responsibly, enjoy yourself responsibly. Those are the key words. Do that responsibly. That's the key word, responsibly. But nobody really wants to listen to that. They just want to have a good time until and somebody got decapitated, or somebody's arms are ripped off, or their spleen is in the glove compartment or something crazy. As the late great George Carlin once said. So that's just drunk drivers, and that's not a major issue. There is no God, but thank God. That's not a major issue, drunk driving, because we've been inundated with so much information and so much ideas that we know that it's not for our good health. It's not for any of our rational capabilities to try to be, the one guy that goes out with his car, the one gal who goes out with her car and wants to test the limits, test their impairment, and see what they can do. And what happens? They either kill themselves or kill someone else, or both, or leave somebody comatose, or leave somebody paraplegic or something like that, just because you want to have that little bit of drink. That's all it took. So that's what is the sad part about the holidays mainly. And I'm glad that Rick James said Mother's Day, because that's a good point, and Father's Day too. I missed both of them. That's next week. Mother's Day is mimosas and Bloody Marys. It's primarily. You can get whatever the hell you want, but those are the classic drinks for taking your mother out to brunch and stuff like that, having her get something to eat. So that's what's so strange, because we had prohibition. This is the sick thing. We have prohibition now, and I'll talk about that later. But prohibition once was the law of the land, like I said, and it was the highest amount of police deaths at any time in the United States history. I wonder why. Because Babyface Nelson, Machine Gun Kelly, and Al Scarface Capone were the ones that were killing everybody. And they didn't really go to jail not all of them went to jail for murder or homicide or anything like that. like and didn't die because of it. Um, Al Capone went to prison because of tax evasion and died because of syphilis, for example. And now it's during this period, and they said, you know, we're going to repeal that. Sorry, whoops. But nobody said anything. Okay. Selfism. I see you. Enjoy the conversation. Check in soon and catch you when you chime in on the starport. Good to go. Good to go, sir. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Let me make sure I say that. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't. All right, so it's done. Donation on payday. Salute. Make sure you get the hope the subscribe is done and then the donation. Okay, so good for you. Appreciate you, selfism. Much respect to you. Much respect. So to get back on track, get back on to what I was just discussing a few seconds ago. Yeah, so Cinco de Mayo is just an excuse to get drunk. Sadly, that's what it is. Nobody gives a goddamn about the history. No, they get it confused. Oh, their Independence Day, dude. Yeah, man. No, it wasn't. It really wasn't. It was battle between Mexican forces and French forces, and the Mexican forces won. So they celebrate that as Cinco de Mayo, or the 5th of May. That's all that means. What that means. People have to learn, different Spanish lessons just to understand what Cinco de Mayo really means and stuff like that. But there's parades, there's different foods that are made, there's stories that are told. There's a rich tradition in places like Los Angeles and Houston, and other places around the country with the Mexican people of Mexican descent who enjoy with alcohol. Some of them do, the adults, but for some sectors they don't even need alcohol or anything like that. They have different other pastries and drink delicacies and stuff like that. That's all lined up and very appropriate for recognizing a day where Napoleon, one of the biggest leaders in the world in world history, was defeated. His troops were defeated. That's pretty amazing. So it's a day that could be construed as just for making an ass of yourself, getting skunk drunk as a skunk, and urinating on yourself, defecating on yourself, making yourself a mess. Or you can choose the other route, study up just a little bit, study up. No, I know nobody gives a goddamn, but you can be somebody else, different, and study up on the whole idea of what Cinco de Mayo really means, what it stands for. You can be the one person that stands out amongst the crowd and be an individual rather than just be a part of the herd, part of the herd mentality. Salute to Michael Hurd. He's a super Trumpster, super Trump supporter, but he's a good guy to me, so I can't blame him. Same thing with Dr. Leonard Peikoff. Dr. Leonard Peikoff is totally for Trump. Dr. Yarnbrook is not like, you have to make up your own mind. He made up his own mind and he's standing on his square. Dr. Peikoff is, and so is Dr. Brooke. And I'm against Trump not because of Dr. Brooke, but because of his information, but because I just look at him and hear his words and I'm like, nah. And the same thing with Biden too. I'm not a Biden supporter, even though he's from Delaware and my dad met him before and stuff like that, and he's held down Delaware allegedly, for 30 or 40 years. Then was the vice president, now president. But I always look at it like this: Trump is like being burned alive, and Biden is like freezing to death. So if you want to lift one up, if you want to lift up a toast for Cinco de Mayo, I salute you. And I'm going to sign off. So thank you very much. I was about to go into politics. So let me end this stream right now. I thank everybody for coming out, and I appreciate it. Take care.